What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the TG Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Ganem, and today I will be discussing NFL news, specifically regular season standing predictions. Now, in the AFC East, I have the Patriots winning the division, followed by the Jets, Bills, and Dolphins. I just feel like at this stage of his career, Tom Brady is basically always a lock to win the AFC East as long as him and Belichick are together. I know they lost Gronk, but I like the receiving core that they have, drafting N'Keal Henry along with Edelman, Dorsett, that whole crew. I think the running game is going to be really strong again with James White and Tony Michel, and their defense is only going to get better. They had a ton of draft picks. This is going to be their most athletic young team that Belichick's had in a while, and I expect them to make another Super Bowl run right up there with the best in the NFL. Right behind them, I have the Jets. I think the Jets are going to make a massive improvement this year with Le'Veon Bell being part of the running game and passing game. I think Sam Darnold's going to take a leap under Adam Gase. And I just like the signing of C.J. Mosley. He's a great inside linebacker, and I feel like he's going to make a big impact on their team. They have Jamal Adams in the secondary. And I just think this is a team that, although they're not as good as the Patriots yet, they're not as I don't think Sam Darnold's matured enough to take that reign away from Tom Brady yet, but they're an up-and-coming team, and I wouldn't be surprised if they made a wild card spot. Right behind them in third place in the AFC East, I have the Bills. I think Josh Allen, he's just, at this stage, they have more talent than the Dolphins, which is preventing them from being last. I think Josh Allen has more support within the organization than Josh Allen has in Miami, and I think he's going to improve. He has a cannon of an arm, and he just has accuracy problems. I feel like they're going to help him out with that, and I feel like their defense is good enough to carry them to third place in the division. And then last, I have the Dolphins. The Dolphins are in the running for worst team in the league at this point. I really don't understand what they're doing with their quarterback situation. I feel like Josh Rosen at this point should just be a lock to start based on that he's a young guy who's a former first-round pick, number 10 overall, only 2 years ago. They got him for super cheap because he was in a terrible situation in Arizona. They gave up on him basically for Kyler Murray. I feel like he's going to be super motivated. And I don't see the point in starting Ryan Fitzpatrick the first couple of games. If they do go the Fitzpatrick route, it's the most obvious thing what's going to happen. 3 or 4 games in, they'll be 1-2, 1-3, 0-4, 0-3, and they're just going to pull the plug on Fitzpatrick and give the reins to Rosen anyways. I don't see any situation in which Fitzpatrick makes it the whole season unless Rosen somehow gets injured in the first game and is out. Going to the AFC West, I have the Chargers finishing ahead of the Chiefs. I feel like the Chiefs are going to miss their pass rush. They traded D4. They didn't really replace him. They lost Justin Houston, obviously. So I think the Chargers are in a great spot. I know people may argue that they may not have Melvin Gordon at the beginning of the season. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think running backs in this league are very easily replaceable. Phil Rivers still has Keenan Allen on the outside. Their defense is still strong with Joey Bosa. I just think they have a really overall strong team. They weren't that far behind the Chiefs last season. I think the Chiefs definitely are going to take a step back. I think Patrick Mahomes won't throw it for as many touchdowns as last year. I know they have I know Tyreek Hill will be available. They still have Kelsey. I don't know what's going to happen with their running game. They lost Kareem Hunt in the offseason, obviously to a bunch of issues. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But I would predict them to make the wild card spot. I think the Chiefs and the Browns and the AFC North are going to be competing for the wild card spot. Then I have the Raiders following in the Chiefs. I think the Raiders are definitely going to improve. I think Derek Carr is going to have a bounce back season with Antonio Brown on his side. But I just don't think they have the overall talent level to make it that far ahead of the Chiefs and Chargers. If they were in another weaker division, I would say maybe they could finish second, but the Chiefs and Chargers are just too far ahead of them in talent-wise and scheme-wise to make up the difference. And then last in the AFC West, I have the Broncos coming up. I really don't know what the Broncos are doing. I just feel like they really don't have a direction as a franchise. I don't know why they decided to trade for Joe Flacco. Maybe it's just because John Elway's so bad at drafting quarterbacks. He decided, hey, this guy at least I know what I'm getting. Maybe I can make another magical run like he did with Baltimore and lead us to a Super Bowl, but I don't see that happening, especially since that Baltimore team was carried by his defense, and they had a terrific performance by Anquan Bolden in that run, so I really just don't see it happening for the Broncos this year. Now, going to the AFC North, I think the Steelers are going to win the division. I know they lost Le'Veon Bell, they lost Antonio Brown, obviously, for criticizing Ben Roethlisberger, but I think they are, as we saw with the Patriots at the end of last season, how well motivation can lead a team. The Patriots were motivated. They were the underdogs, and look what it drove them to, a Super Bowl win. I think the Steelers, although I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders, I think that they're definitely motivated. They want to. Juju Smith-Schuster wants to prove he's a number one wideout without Antonio Brown. Ben Roethlisberger wants to prove, hey, I'm good enough to carry this team without two exceptional talents around me. And yeah, I just think they're gonna win the division. And Mike Tomlin, he's a good coach. They have a solid defense and offense, and I think that's enough to win this division. I have the Browns following up in second place. I think the Browns are going to make a run for a wild card spot in the AFC. I love their talent. They have Odell Beckham Jr., one of the best wideouts ever. Jarvis Landry in the slot. They have good talent at tight end, running back. Their defense is improving. Their pass rush with Myles Garrett strong. And I think this is a team they're not old and mature enough to take that huge leap, but they're good enough to take a mini leap. I think Baker Mayfield's going to improve. He's always been accurate. I think he's just going to take that next step in his progression. He's not up there with the elites yet, but I think he's going to be in that second tier of quarterbacks for sure. This one was tough for me. I really wanted to put the Ravens second ahead of the Browns, but I don't think Lamar Jackson, there's reports coming out of camp that he's made great strides, but I have to see it in games to see it to really believe it. He struggled. He's a great runner of the football. I know Jim Harbaugh said he may break the record for most rushes by a quarterback in the season, breaking Cam Newton's record. But I just need to see the improvement in the games from him. I just don't know if he has the accuracy and passing ability to lead the team past the Steelers and Browns, who both have really accurate quarterbacks. And last in the AFC North, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to miss A.J. Green for the first couple games of the season due to his injury, which I think is going to really hurt them because Andy Dalton is not a top-tier quarterback and just carry a team no matter who he has, such as like a Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. The Bengals, they always underperform, and it's just started a streak. They've just kept on going lower and lower. I think it's going to continue this season. In the AFC South, I have the Colts winning the division. I think the Colts are just going to be, you saw at the end of last season, that huge streak they went on to make a playoff push. I think that's going to continue the season. Andrew Luck's fully healthy for another season. They have Quentin Nelson on the O-line. Solid wide receivers with T.Y. Hilton. Defense with their they had an amazing rookie last year. I just think they're going to be a team to reckon with. I think they're the third best team in the AFC behind the Patriots and Chargers. And I would not be surprised if they were in the AFC Championship game. Followed by the Texans. I think the Texans could make a playoff run. I just need to see it happen in the season. Deshaun Watson, he took a step back after his ACL injury in his rookie season. So I would like to see him make a bounce back year. I think he will, but I don't know if it will be at that level that he was early on in his rookie season. Their defense is obviously loaded with J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney. But they did lose Tyrann Mathieu, which I think will be a huge loss. And I'm looking forward to seeing Deshaun Watson have a full offseason. Last season he was obviously recovering the whole year, so I'm looking forward to seeing him having a whole year to improve and get back to the championship caliber player he is, as we saw when he was with Clemson. In third place in the AFC South, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Nick Foles signing will help them, but I just think the Colts and Texans are too good. I just don't like the talent they have on offense. I know Leonard Fournette took a big step back last year. I don't think their wide receiver core is anything to write about. And Nick Foles is a solid quarterback, but I think his ability was really inflated in Philadelphia when he had such a great roster around him. And I just don't see them overtaking the Colts or Texans unless there's major injuries at quarterback to either the Colts or Texans. And then last, I have the Tennessee Titans. This is just all predicated around me believing that I don't think Marcus Mariota is going to make it a whole season without getting injured again. I know they have Ryan Tannehill, but yet again, he could get injured. I think their whole quarterback situation is just a mess. I don't think Marcus Mariota is the quarterback of the future in Tennessee. I feel like he's just too injury prone. They always say the best ability is availability, as you see with all the top quarterbacks, and I just don't think he possesses that. So I see them finishing last in the AFC. So that wraps up the AFC portion of my segment, and I'm going to transition into the NFC. In the NFC East, I have the Eagles winning the division over the Cowboys. I think Carson Wentz is just going to be out to prove something this year, that he is able to lead this team. He's shown it once before. Everyone's saying, there's some fans saying, we should have kept Nick Foles in case Carson Wentz got injured. I think he's going to stay healthy this season. I think he's going to have a bounce-back performance. I think I wouldn't say he's going to be back to the MVP level he was at a couple years ago, but I think he's going to be pretty close to that. And obviously, they have a great defense with Fletcher Cox leading the way. Second, I have the Cowboys. I think By reports, it said Ezekiel Elliott will not play without a new contract, and I don't think Jerry Jones will pay up. I think the old Jerry Jones would have paid up, but I think he has smart enough people around him to convince, hey, it's not smart to pay for a running back when he's taken so many hits and carries over the years. I think they will miss him, though, because he is still an elite talent, but yeah, I think they will deeply miss him because I think they're going to overpay for Dak Prescott, and which is not a good idea because he is not a top quarterback in my opinion. He is probably, if you're grading quarterbacks, I would give him a B minus B at most, and that's being pretty generous on my part. And they have great talent in Amari Cooper at wide receiver, DeMarcus Lawrence on the D line, but I just don't see them having what it takes to overtake the Eagles. However, they are a consideration for the wild card spot. In third place in the NFC East, I have the New York Giants. I have them ahead of the Redskins because I think Daniel Jones will be a lot better than people expect. I think Eli Manning will start the season, but I don't know. I just have this weird feeling that Daniel Jones will overtake him for some reason. I think maybe Eli starts off slow. They're 1-2, 0-3, and they just say, "Hey, Daniel Jones, get in there." I think they'll have enough in the tank and I think he'll just perform better than people expect. I don't know. I feel like I feel like he can definitely have something to prove this season. I feel like he will. Followed by the Washington Redskins. I say this because I don't think they're going to give the job to Dwayne Haskins at all this season. I think they're going to let either Colt McCoy or I believe Case Keenum's on their roster. I believe they'll have them, and I think they'll just take the reins. I think they'll take their losses to try to get a high draft pick this year. I don't think they want to risk. Unlike the Giants, I think the Giants are willing to take a risk on Daniel Jones here, but I don't think the Redskins want to take a risk on Dwayne Haskins and risk exposing him too early. So yeah, I think the Redskins finish last in the NFC East. Going across country to the NFC West, I have the Rams finishing first. This is probably one of the easier picks along with the Patriots. I think the Rams just have superior talent. I think I don't know what the situation about Todd Gurley is, but I feel like they could replace at least some of his production. They have great talent on the outside with Brandon Cooks. Jared Goff, I think, is going to keep improving, and their defense is obviously loaded with Aaron Donald there. So yeah, I expect nothing but a great season from the LA Rams, and I expect them to be competing for a Super Bowl appearance once again. I have them followed up by the San Francisco 49ers. I think they're going to really benefit, obviously, from having Jimmy G back. They have Joey Bosa's brother, Nick Bosa. They have a loaded D-line. And yeah, I just see them having the ability with Jimmy Garoppolo and Kyle Shanahan. Think about it, Kyle Shanahan made Matt Ryan into an MVP candidate. I don't think Jimmy G is on Matt Ryan's level yet, but I think he can get Kyle Shanahan can get Jimmy somewhat to that level. And I think, yeah, they will be competing for a wild card spot as well. Next, I have the Seattle Seahawks third. I want to believe in Russell Wilson. I really do. He's an all-time quarterback, in my opinion. He's one of the great mobile throwers we have in this game. He's not just a mobile quarterback. He's a mobile thrower where he throws accurately on the run. But I just don't believe in the rest of the roster. I just think they're lacking talent on the outside and in the run game. Their defense has definitely taken hit, although they kept Bobby Wagner, who's an amazing inside linebacker. I just don't see them head out of the Rams and 49ers. Last, I have the Arizona Cardinals. This is one of the easier picks for the last place teams. I think Kyler Murray will be solid, nothing spectacular. I think they're just lacking necessary talent. I feel bad for Larry Fitzgerald that he's not on a winning team. I think he has too much love for the Arizona area to ask out, but yeah, I think he'll continue producing as he always does, and that the Cardinals will have another top pick next year. Going to the NFC North, I have the Bears winning the division. I think Mitchell Trubisky will take another step forward. Their defense is obviously spectacular with Khalil Mack. I expect nothing but improvement from this team. I think they're going to be better than they were last season when they won the division. And yeah, I expect their defense to be one of the best in the league. I have the Minnesota Vikings second. I think Kirk Cousins will definitely be improved from his pretty disappointing first season in Minnesota. They obviously have Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs. Their defense is good. I just don't think they have I think on offense they're pretty equal. Although the Vikings have a way better receiving core, I think Mitchell Trubisky in the run game is better than the Vikings. I just see the Vikings being they may make a run for the division lead, but I just don't think so. Followed by third, I have the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers can carry this team all he wants, but I just don't think they have the necessary talent around them. He lost Clay Matthews. I wonder how he's going to work with Matt the new coach, Matt LaFleur. I just don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to take well to him. I don't know. The coach doesn't seem to have that kind of personality that would demand respect. I think Aaron Rodgers needs a proven championship coach around him. And Mike McCarthy won a championship with him. So if he wasn't respecting Mike McCarthy, I highly doubt he's going to respect the new guy. And then followed last, I have the Detroit Lions. I think the Lions are just lacking talent around Matt Stafford, who's kind of overrated in my opinion to begin with. I just don't see it. They're just not a good, well-run organization. Matt Patricia, although he's one of the great all-time Patriot assistant coaches as a defensive coordinator, I just don't think he's cut out to be a head coach. I think he's more of a coordinator guy. And I see them finishing in last place again. And then lastly, in the NFC South, I have the Saints winning the division. The Saints, I believe, are one of the most well-rounded teams. They're going to be a Super Bowl contender this year for sure. I think if this is Drew Brees' last season, this is the season to win it. They've kind of had just bad luck in the playoffs with some pretty bad calls, but I believe they're going to make another run. Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas with his new contract, making him the highest paid wide receiver in football. I believe that's well earned. Drew Brees is obviously going to be stud as always. Cameron Jordan on the D-line. Lots of talent on that team. Sean Payton as a head coach. Him and Drew Brees are always on sync. And they're going to make another deep run in the playoffs, I believe. In second place in the NFC South, I have the Atlanta Falcons. I think Julio Jones is going to ball up as always. They're going to have, I think Devontae Freeman's going to have a bounce back year. I think Matt Ryan's going to have a bounce back year. But I just don't think they have the overall talent of the Saints, or I don't think their coaching is as good as the Saints. So I have them finishing second. In third place in the NFC South, I have the Carolina Panthers. I think Cam Newton is going to, I really want to put the Panthers out of the Falcons just because I want to believe in Cam Newton. I think he's just a really good talent who gets scrutinized a lot because he's a fun guy and he runs a lot and he takes big hits, which quarterbacks shouldn't do. But I just don't know about his shoulder situation. They've said in camp and reports that he's on a pitch limit in camp. That doesn't seem that good to begin with, to be honest. This stage before the season, leading into the preseason. But if he makes a full comeback, I wouldn't be surprised if they overtook the Falcons because they have great talent on defense in their D line and with Luke Kuechly there. And then last in the NFC South, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bruce Arians trying to resurrect the career of Jameis Winston. I just don't see it happening. I think Jameis Winston is who he is at this point. A great talent who's a really bad decision maker on and off the field, which is another issue for them. I think they're just lacking the necessary offensive talent. They have Mike Evans on the outside, which is a great weapon, but their run game really hasn't been solid for a long time. Deshaun Jackson obviously didn't work out there last season. On defense, they lost Joe McCoy due to releasing him. And I just don't think they have the talent on the defense side of the ball. I think they're limited by Jameis Winston's poor decision-making on the other side of the ball. All right, so this has been my NFL regular season standings predictions. I hope you enjoyed. This has been Tyler Ganem. I'll see you next time on the TG Sports Podcast. Thank you.